Every open source project has a story, from the first commit to a vision of what's next. Today I'm talking with the creator of React PDF to uncover how it all started, the path it's taken, and where React PDF is headed. So without further ado, let's dive in. Thanks for joining, man.
No problem.
The React PDF legend in person.
Man, that's too much, but I appreciate it.
I haven't had a chance to meet you, not before this call, and you've been in
hmm
communications with Josh.
Yeah.
He spoke very highly of you, being your relevant package to our company.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun talking to him and I really like him back.
What about you? What are you working on? Anything exciting these days?
Yeah, I mean, so I think when I first met Josh, I was working at Scale AI. It was like this,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't like a startup at that point. It was like a huge, actually, company on San Francisco. I think I worked there for 2 years. React PDF even started before that when I was working I'm from Uruguay. So I was working for a software agency there, and that's where like all started in terms of like the open source project and my open source work in general. That's kind of my background. Like I always been, like probably more interested in front end than back end. Like React particularly, like I started working with React like very early on its creation, and when React Native started, like started to see like that benefit of like, hey, React is more than just a web library. It's like a general purpose rendering engine sort of way. So that's kind of what triggered my work on React PDF, and even before that, my work on a library called I think it was called React Log or something, which was basically it was super silly, but it was a way of rendering React components in the terminal, in like the browser terminal with styles and layout, etc. So yeah, I was always like very sort of curious. I guess that's what just started it all, or like what kept me like digging into these libraries and making fun experiments, and eventually like just posting them on GitHub.
Very cool. Yeah, let's dive a little bit more into there. I'd like to learn about the story behind React PDF. I have a few questions I hope will paint an inspiring picture of your journey. So if you're ready, let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right. So I think we should start with what is React PDF? And for those who don't know, how are developers using it today?
Mhm. Yeah, so in a very sort of short way, React PDF is basically a library to create PDF files. That's kind of like the summary of the summary. The way React PDF does it in comparison to other solutions out there is by leveraging React and leveraging this philosophy that React has of like learn once and write on like in different platforms. Like as I was saying, like you have React Native, you build native applications with it. You use React DOM, you use web applications. So basically, React PDF enters the game by filling that small, use case of like creating PDF documents with it. I think what has proven or at least what I think people like enjoy about it is like there was already like a lot of ways of creating PDF files. PDF files is like a standard that's been in the ecosystem for a while, and that wasn't, I think, an issue. The issue was to create beautiful PDFs, like to have in a maintainable way, like to lay out things correctly, to add like margins, paddings, like nice fonts, in a way that it's manageable for developers. In the same way that if you're creating a web page and you need to sort of use JS primitives, it would be very hard, or like it would be very easily to like that for the code not to be maintainable. So I think React PDF in that sense sort of fits that small use case. People have been using it for that purpose mostly, for at least for what I can tell from the internet, like creating dynamic documents with dynamic data that may be coming from an API, from any like a form, and anywhere that any sort of data source that users might have, and doing it in the web or in the node depends on the use case, but making like having an sort of an API to build these documents sort of like in a neat way that looks good. And React is perfect for that because with React you have JSX, which is basically HTML, like syntax, and you can nest elements, you can create your own components, reuse them here and there, pass props, all the things that that are cool about React that can be applied now for PDFs using React PDF. So yeah, that's mostly what it is and what people has been using it for.
Yeah. What year did you originally build it?
This was probably, let me think, maybe 2015, 2016, around that time. I think
Wow.
if it didn't reach 10 years, it's already there. I
Close.
might be wrong here by a year or two. Probably need to check. But yeah, I had like, I mean, the whole project has like ups and downs. Like there was times in which it was in maintenance mode. I didn't have time or motivation to work on it, and then I resumed it. But the community sort of, helped in keeping the project going. And so yeah, it's been a while. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's a long journey. And curious, did you do anything to gain traction or get popularity? Like, did you do any growth
Hmm.
efforts, post on Reddit, Hacker News, anything like that?
I mean, yeah, I posted in Hacker News. I don't think I did in Redis, but I think everything was very organic, to be honest. Was probably helpful, like the fact that during that time React was like, the new kid in the block, like everybody was exciting, everybody was switching to React. So like any React project, I feel like that time it was like, like a super, I mean, potentially popular. Um, but no, actually no. I just created a nice website. Like I tried to make it like more visual, like as visual as possible. Like I created this repo, very sim from the beginning, in which like anyone can just go to the site and play with the library without having to download anything or create a project. And then yeah, I mean, I remember being shocked back then, like at seeing like the GitHub stars and the tweets about it, like just popping very quickly. So everything, I would say everything was very organic. I do remember like also posting it in Hacker News, I think it was, and I used like I did some meetups like talks back then in Uruguay, which is where I'm from. But it was a small audience, so I mean it was nice to sort of communicate what I was doing, but I'm not sure how much impact actually had on the library popularity.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes it's as fortunate that someone finds it, really likes it. Maybe they have a
Yeah.
following and then they share it. And then now it kind of creates that ripple effect where a lot of people start sharing it and it kind of grows organic like that. Very cool. I just,
Yeah,
um,
100%. I do remember like seeing some like very popular developers on GitHub like liking it, and it
there
was
you go.
very noticeable how after that like more people just
That must have felt good.
got yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very fun. It was very fun.
Very cool. And kind of going back a little bit, what prompted or inspired you to build React PDF? I mean, were you working on a project that needed the PDF capabilities? I know you kind of touched on it before, or did you just want to fill a need in the market?
I wouldn't say like either of those. I always say that it was a bit of luck, to be honest, which is not a very popular answer, I guess, when talking about like a popular open source project. I mean, obviously that luck was, you know, helped with a lot of work, but everything started. I was preparing a talk, like a meetup talk in Uruguay. Actually, I didn't want it to do it. Some friends actually prompted me to do it. And I was already curious about like using React for all these things. As I said, I had like this sort of proof of concept project in which it renders React components into the browser terminal, sort of dev tools. So I was already, and that I think what triggered that was just pure curiosity, like like realizing that when you write JSX, that gets compiled into a React create element call, and everything I mean, and the response of the return of that call is just basically like an object that very simple. Like had props, children, and some more things. And so I thought, okay, like maybe what can you do with that like JSON, big JSON object that React creates, and what can you apply it for? So my whole talk was about that, and I was basically looking for something to build. Like it wasn't about PDFs. It was PDFs just happened to be in the way, and that's the idea I had of like, yeah, you can use these to create documents. So that's what triggered it all. So I started that. I created a project for that meetup. Um, And then, yeah, I mean, the meetup was fine. It was just probably 20 people. It wasn't that enough to get something started. But I posted it online, and I actually don't remember much about like that sort of period of time. But I think like some people liked it, and I just because it was very fun to do, I kept doing it up to a point in which the library was useful, and that's when probably things blew up in a way. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of luck in the sense that I wasn't in the need to create a PDF rendering engine or library or or anything like that. It was just that it was the felt like a correct idea or like a good idea back then. But it could have been something else. It could have been, I don't know, Microsoft Word document, or it was kind of what I picked. And after that, I just kept doing it.
Very cool. Having this open source project, I don't know if you share this as a portfolio item, but has it helped you get some high-end jobs? What has this done for you?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I'm very bad at marketing myself in that sense, so it's not like, like something I either talked about or even sometimes forgot about that I have the project because it's been there for so long that. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, I was I mean, I wouldn't say lucky, but I was fortunate enough to have like very, like interesting positions during my career, and I'm sure React PDF has had a lot to do with that. Like. I do believe, like, especially in our business, like obviously going through a formal career path, it's very good, and I did it. And I'm not saying it is not good, but also like having a portfolio there, like GitHub is kind of like our arena, right? And um, having there, it's super helpful, like professionally, even sometimes more than a good CV or I don't know, maybe even a diploma or a degree. So yeah, it's kind of hard to measure how much it actually impacted, but I'm pretty sure it had a lot to do.
Yeah, very cool. At Joyful, I can kind of relate. We're building an embeddable form builder that can support PDF forms. Turns out it's really hard to do, which you know. So it's always impressive to see creators like yourself who dare to create these PDF related solutions for the developer community. Coming from experience, it can be, challenging, and so compliments to you. Definitely,
That's very kind. I
I'm
appreciate it.
almost, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure it's definitely been one of those things. I mean, we definitely noticed that. Reason why I even wanted to chat with you is we're like, hey, he's built this. We're building all this stuff for PDFs. This guy has to know his stuff. He's been around for a long time. Love to chat with him, pick his brain, kind of hear his journey. Okay, so that kind of segues into my next question, which is,
Mhm.
were there any specific challenges that you faced or lessons learned along the way that you could share
Mhm.
that might be helpful to others building stuff for the community?
I mean, a bunch. I mean, technically speaking, like I couldn't even imagine all the challenges I had, or like that just creating documents has in general. Like from, like one of the things that it's probably one of the bottlenecks of the library, but it's always also one of the more complex pieces is like page breaking, like grabbing whole document and figuring out because PDFs are like paged documents, like figuring out where to break the page, what happens with text, like you don't want to keep like one line of text in one page and like just the rest of a paragraph in the other. What do you do with images? You cannot just cut them in half. Like all those so small details or like edge cases are kind of hard to see before jumping into that challenge. But once you are there, yeah, it's inevitable to just see them, and dealing with all those nuances is very complex. Typesetting is also very complex. How to render a piece of text in a block in a container, where to break the lines, how to make decisions of like where to hyphenate a word when you don't want to do it, like how to justify text. I mean, I'm listing stuff like images, like dealing with JPEG, PNG, like all these formats and have their own like small things. So technically speaking, yeah, like tons of challenge, and it was very fun because I'm in general very curious and someone I like enjoys to learn stuff, and this was just the perfect, like excuse to do it.
Mhm.
But I think there were also sort of like more, I don't know what word to put it, like more like social challenges, I guess, in the sense that just keeping, like maintaining one of like a library in general, like even if it's, popular or not, it's just a lot of work. Like it, sometimes it was hard to manage, like, seeing all the issues and seeing all the pull requests and like, you want to be there to review it and to fix them, but you also have a life, you also have a full-time job, you also, you want to do sports or just watch TV or anything like besides work. So, I mean, that's why I'm not sure how to call them, but like, let's say like work-life balance challenges I also faced a lot. And that, again, something I didn't know that was going to happen because I just posted that for myself, and I didn't know that it was going to be helpful for other people. And it feels, like sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm fine if I don't want to, that much time on it. But also on the other hand, it's like, okay, like this is something very cool. I really enjoy working on it, and these people like, want to use it and wants to push the project forward, and I just can't be there. So yeah, I would say that's something I guess a challenge I faced, and I maybe even say I still face it. And yeah, in terms of like lessons, yeah, I don't know, like something that just comes to my mind right now is I think it helped me like to be on the other side when I'm using someone else's project, just to be kind in general, like like to realize that the work that someone is putting there, it's probably coming from like his free time or like some fun time that the developer had, and I did unfortunately had cases in which like the tone sometimes is not the best where I receive issues. So one lesson I kind of try to exercise very often is like when I'm on the other side, be kind to the other projects maintainers when I'm building, when I need to something from them as well.
Because you know firsthand. Yeah.
Exactly.
How
Yeah.
how tough it could be. Knowing all that you know now, is there anything you would have done differently?
Not really, I think. I mean,
It all
maybe
worked out?
I think. Yeah, I mean, as I said, maybe some other maintainers is maybe different in the sense that they have all this vision. I mean, I do have vision of like what React PDF is and I want it to be, but I've been building that on the go. It wasn't something, I had from the very start. So, I mean, if I think back, I think like my sort of recipe was to work as hard as I can, just try to make the best decisions as I can. Always ask for opinion when there's some maintainers, some people interested in a specific feature. And yeah, maybe, I mean, I'm sure I'd make some mistakes, but I don't think I would do it differently in the sense that I mean, it was what I had, like with the information what I had and the resources that I had, I acted as I could, and I don't regret it at all. So yeah.
Nowadays, those building open source tools, they are either doing it one with the intent to eventually commercialize it at some point, or two, they generally just want to create something useful for themselves and the developer community, or a combination of the two. Have you ever considered monetizing React PDF beyond just like donations?
Not really. I mean, it would be nice in the sense that I'm putting a lot of time on it. So, and I get a lot of monetary payments in the sense that, I get to know a lot of people. I got to, for instance, some years ago, I got to work for a Swiss company that wanted to use React PDF. So they hired me to sort of build a lot of features, and I traveled to Switzerland. I met amazing people there. So I definitely got paid in like a lot of things that are not like money in that sense. But it takes so many hours that, yeah, I mean, at one point I thought like how to, but truth is probably I'm not that motivated to monetize it. And also I don't know how to. Actually, like the sort of donation system I have right now, it was someone who created an issue proposing it. It wasn't something I didn't even have in mind. So I guess the answer is kind of yes and no. So I mean, it would be cool. It would be cool to have like sponsorship and like have resources not only for myself to be motivated to and like to actually even think about like keep building it, which I would probably do anyways in the sense that I still like to work on it. But like in the time I printed like some merch for these meetups. I had like a server running for the website. So there's small expenses that needs to be covered. And for a long time, I just covered them from my pocket. So it's kind of like a combination of both. Also, like the open source, like the donations money is there for anyone who wants to contribute as well. It's not, I don't consider it that it's my money. It's like the project's money. So someone, uh, wants to work on it and, wants to make some small money out of it because it's not, we're getting a lot of funding. Uh, it can definitely, that money could be there for them, or if they want to travel to do like or to organize a meetup in their city and just buy some snacks, etc. Talk about the project. That having some more funding for that will be also very very cool. But as I said before, it's not that I really know how to. And while keeping the open source philosophy, untouched, and to keep it an open project.
Well, hopefully, maybe even this video or some post can help support that to where people maybe can sponsor you or do some cool stuff because we know the open source community and how it works and that type of culture, and you want to kind of give back for what they've done, especially if you're using the project. Okay,
Totally amazing.
so yeah. So what does the future hold for React PDF? Any exciting plans?
Yes, in a sense. So I think like my main focus right now is to make what it is in place as robust as possible. Like trying to make it like the best PDF rendering engine ever, like to make it fast, to, like be robust, to support all the font formats, all the the image formats, to create actually like high quality typesetting, documents that anyone but like just my neighbor using it for creating CVs, or a newspaper company wanting it to create like very beautiful articles can use. So that's by itself like a lot of work. It's definitely there in a lot of ways, but obviously it can improve in terms of performance, in terms of like support for more formats. So that's something that's always on my mind. And as I said, it is a lot of work that might not be as exciting if that was the only thing. And there's also something I wanted to sort of keep working on it. So like back then, when going from React PDF V1 to V2, I basically like did a huge overhaul of the code base. I refactored it. I made it like more modular, create like some sort of internal pipeline of how like things work and execute. And when doing that, I separated the layout, or like I call it internally layout engine, from the PDF rendering. This means that you can just grab a JSX or like your document, and I transform it to an intermediate format, let's say. And from that format, I can create PDF files, but I can also create any other type of documents. So it's technically possible right now to use React PDF to create like, I don't know, any other sort of document, like images, SVGs, like Word documents, anything, you name it, like any type of like document, even probably web, even though that won't probably make any sense. So that's kind of like these crazy ideas that are triggered it all, but something I would like to eventually research as well. Like there are use cases for creating images, let's say for like preview images of websites or stuff like that. So like just grabbing the same engine and the same capabilities that React PDF right now provides, but instead of creating a PDF form document, create an image. I think that might be helpful for some people. So yeah, I mean, maybe other formats might not make sense, but it's so easy to sort of create that intermediate layer that it might be cool to just provide it in case someone needs it. That is something that comes to my mind right now, and then it's just adding more CSS support. Like there's a bunch of like CSS styles that React PDF does not support yet, like shadows, which are, and the reason why they're not supported is because it's kind of challenging to translate that into the PDF world. So yeah, like just keep adding more and more and more until like it becomes almost in parity with CSS or of what you can do on the web, basically.
And it being 2025, I have to ask, do you plan on incorporating AI or anything into it?
Yeah, probably. Like everybody is doing. I mean, I'm using way more AI than I used like a year ago, for sure. and I probably that trend is going to keep going that way. I didn't use any sort of like, agent and anything like that to help me fix issues, but actually like just going back to what I said of like keeping up with all the work and responding and like be there for the community. AI might be something that I'm sure it will be very helpful. So I just probably need to sort of think how I will do it and just execute it.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we close, first of all, thank you for all that. You shared in very detail. I think it's very interesting. I think people will find this very interesting, especially if they're using it and or if they're building their own. I think it'd be really cool to hear from a successful creator who has built one, maintained it while doing a job, while wanting the lifestyle balance, and was able to
I
do
mean,
it and really enjoy it. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear and thank you for just giving me the space to actually do it. This is the first time I actually talk about this stuff and like I'll explain like openly what's the story. So it's very fun for me as well, and I appreciate it.
Maybe it's not something that you would do for yourself. You're a humble guy, but those who can appreciate the troubles of building developers tooling for PDFs and supporting and handling those things, as we know very well as you do, it's very tough. So when you can build that for people and they don't have to worry about that, you've worked through all the kinks, you've addressed a lot of use cases, packaged up nicely and said, hey, here, just because I just want to be helpful. I think you deserve recognition, and all the other creators out there as well. So segueing into that, before we do close, I do want to give credit where it deserves. Would you like to give a shout out or recognition to any of your top creators or supporters who have helped you on your journey?
Yeah, of course. As I said before, like something that actually get me going is like the people I get to meet, even in real life or online. So there was and these guys, I mean, most of the guys of the people work on it. I never actually met them in real life, but there was this guy called Dimitri. I'm probably butchering all the names, but that guy was amazing. He's probably, I think he's the second most like bigger contributor in the project right now. There's also Wojciech, very talented dude. Like he has another library called React PDF, which created some confusion in the past for both communities. Which is a library to sort of show a PDF document in the web, but not like creating it. I had a lot of help by him, like while transitioning to TypeScript, like just handling the community in general, replying pull requests, also committing code. There's also this guy called Carlo Beltrame. He committed a little bit, but I think he has been very helpful on like replying issues and answering questions, so like basically like handling the community as well. Also to the people of Republic, which is this Swiss company I mentioned. The library, when I was working for them to build, like working on the library, that's probably when the library grew the most. They guided me to sort of what a very high quality document should look like like what's the correct way of like justifying text or breaking lines and etc. Like I learned a lot from them, and also they just provided the time and funding for me to work on it. And I may be forgetting from ours or people, so I apologize. Yeah, those are the ones that just come to my mind, and it was very good to get the chance to work with them.
Awesome. And I will include a link to their profiles in this video so they know that you did recognize them. And hopefully people can even go check them out or give them a big thanks as well.
Would be great.
I think that's a wrap. Thank you, Diego, for being here, sharing today. This was really fun.
Thanks to you, Sean.